Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We are back.
Woo!
We are back. I'm so excited to be here. How about you, Lisa? You excited to do this?
I'm excited. Yes, I am.
All right. All right. As we do, I'm going to do the intro. Lord, I'm like, I haven't said this intro in over 2 months, but we're going to do the thing. All right, if we're ready. Hey, everybody, welcome to the recap of The Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week to discuss the latest episodes. You can catch our recaps at any time on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Subscribe for free in the app of your choice. For those of you joining us live today, thanks for taking the time out of your evening to be here. I'm Tamara Ford, and I love a good TV show and a good book. Of course, if you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome back, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara. Hey, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I'm an author, and I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. If you want to connect with me, you can find me anywhere online at Lisa Orban Author.
All right. So before we get going, we want to remind you that we want your participation in this conversation. So if you are listening live on YouTube or Facebook, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know where you're listening from and let's talk about the show. If you're catching us on a replay, you can still comment on any platform or by using the speak pipe voicemail link in the show notes from anywhere around the world. So we want to hear from you and get excited about this show. So if you are new here, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Absolutely. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Yes, no scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around. Huge spoiler alert for everything up through today's episode across all the shows.
That's right, but we never
So
go forward, even though we can.
yeah, we can, but we don't. We're good. So if you're cool with that, we're cool with you, and this is the place for you. And we're gonna just start talking. We're back
We are.
after 2 months, 2 months
It's
and like a week or something like that.
yeah, because it was. I don't remember now. Time has no meaning anymore.
I know. It's like, honestly, you wake up, you do the things, you go to sleep, you
You
wake up, you
yep,
do
you
the
do the
things.
things. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Kind of wash, repeat kind of thing. So,
Exactly. So what'd
yeah.
you think of last night's episode? Was it a good start? You thought it was did you think it was a good start?
Um, I did think it was a good start. I think that I was more invested with what was going on with Maggie and everybody than I was with what was going on at home. I'm like,
Right.
okay, it was nice. You had to get everything cleaned up, right? So I understood it, but I was definitely more invested with Maggie and her crew. What
Yeah.
about you?
You know, I would say yeah. I did notice. I mean, they really. I'm going to give them kudos for this. They started they started the show with a literal bang and ended it on a really tense note.
Mhm.
So I think they at least this episode it's really getting us set up. And they did do it at the very end that 6 month time jump that, and we were wondering if they were going to do something like that.
Yes, we were like, it's the perfect time to do a time jump. They're
Yep.
due for one, and they did it.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So should we start at the end or start at the beginning?
Let's
Because
start at
that
the
end was
beginning.
the end. Okay. All right, so we pick up right where we left off. Literally, they're
Yeah.
still in the fight.
Hmm.
The rocket arrow things are going off. There's running and walkers getting blown up, and Maggie getting in fights with people 3 times her size.
Yeah. Well, and you could tell that
Yeah,
Maggie had intimate knowledge of this location, well beyond what the other group did. She all the little bolt holes and the hidey holes, and she obviously had told them to just everyone because you saw like Daryl use one in the classroom.
yeah,
And then they used one in the hospital, in the hospital ward. So I mean, that did actually give them a strategic advantage.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, they did have a one up because they had been there for how many years? She knows the place in and out, and
mhm.
obviously, the Reapers never took the time to explore, I guess. I don't know. It
Well, I
just
mean, the Reapers are more like locusts, you know?
yeah.
They go in, they eat all the food, they take what, all the supplies they can, and then they move on, you know? Um, so I mean, and I mean, they've been there for a little while, but I don't think it was all that long that they had been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I definitely didn't get the vibe that they were about to move on. I feel like they
Well, they
weren't.
still had food.
Yeah.
They still had food, they still had supplies. It was a secure location. They wouldn't have moved on until, basically they were probably down to about a week's worth of food.
Well, well, now they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
They dead. They're dead.
All except one. And then there
All
was
except
one.
one. All except one. So yeah, I thought like that whole time, while they were kind of like trying to take them out and, Maggie's like, we've got to kill them. We got to get out of here alive. Like I really thought they all worked together really well. Even Negan, they all worked
Yeah.
together. I was
Okay,
happy to see it.
I gotta tell you, when Negan picked up that bell and clocked that guy with it, all in the
Yeah.
back of my head, I had ding ding ding. There goes the bell.
He goes ding ding.
Yeah, So I thought that was actually pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. And actually it was pretty smart because he got him with the ashes first
Hmm.
and then clocks him with the bell. I'm like, okay, gotta do what you gotta do. But
Actually, I think that was sand.
or sand, yeah.
Hmm. I think because it looked
But
like it was actually uh like the old schoolhouses used to have like buckets of sand in case there was a fire,
oh.
and so I think that bucket it was below that ding ding bell. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what it was for in case there was a fire.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So there's that going on. I really liked Maggie in this episode. I did. And I know, or I feel like people have been giving Maggie a lot of hate in the first part of this season. Like they were just kind of talking
I
shit about her.
I'm gonna say, and I mean this in the nicest way possible.
Uh-huh.
You can tell Negan's influence on her. I mean, she isn't who she used to be. When we were really familiar with her prior to her leaving. Taking her hiatus and then coming back. Um, she has gotten very calculating. She's and you can kind of see there's these looks past quite often throughout this entire episode between Maggie and Negan. There's a realization that they're beginning to kind of mirror each other. And although I did find it really interesting there towards the middle end, um when Maggie was asking for a consensus on whether or not to kill him or not,
Right.
and looked over and asked Negan, you know, the fact that she even included him in that decision was, in a way, kind of shocking.
It was, but I think they had just she has trusted him in this
Yeah,
situation. So he had an opportunity to take advantage during this whole fight and he didn't. So I think she kind of does trust him in this moment, right?
right. Well, and he had
um,
he had stated, we need to get the food and we need to get out of here. We need to get
yeah,
out of here alive because otherwise all of this was for nothing.
right.
Everyone is gone, and Alexandria will, as far as they know, starve. So it was a very intense moment where you could see Maggie how conflicted she was. After everything that they had gone through, and the fact that these people had come in and taken her home. I mean, she took it way beyond personal. You know what I mean?
Well, it was revenge,
Yeah,
right?
it
It
was.
was, and I'm okay with it, to be honest. I'm not mad at her. Like they killed some of her people. They didn't just
Hmm.
kick them out.
Right.
They killed them.
I know.
And in that moment, when they were trying to make this quote unquote deal, we learn, and she learned, you were going to kill our asses anyway. You were
Right.
going to kill us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, you got to do what you got to do. And when she asked Negan, he goes, well, you know what I think.
Right. And I'm sure she did. I mean,
Yeah.
because again, her Negan and Maggie had developed a strange relationship. It wasn't trust, it was more like mutually assured destruction. And so, um, but yeah, I mean, I did find it really interesting. And that scene, you know, uh, I'm not surprised that Elgin,
Elton.
Elton. Thank you. I was
No,
gonna,
not Elton. I'm saying it wrong. Al- oh God.
Alton.
I'm saying it's Alton. Yeah. I'm
There
like,
we
oh
go.
gosh. Cause she says his name kind of oddly too. Maggie did
Yeah.
when she got to the like, okay. Anyway.
And but yeah, I'm gonna be real truthful. I'd almost forgotten about him. She walks into that church and went, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah.
and and then I'm like, yeah, when she called his name and didn't answer, I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely dead. Definitely
I
dead.
kind of knew he would be, but I'm glad
Yeah,
they came back to it and kind of verified it for us.
right. But I mean, he was, it's kind of that was kind of an interesting moment because he was the first savior to truly to come over to Maggie's side, you know,
Yeah.
and he became, kind of her, not quite her right hand man, but pretty close to it. When she was running Hilltop,
Yeah. They were
and
close.
they were close. So I mean, and they had lost so many on the road to get there. I mean, they came back with 4. It was her, Negan, Gabriel, Father Gabriel. Well, right now, I guess we're just going to call him Gabriel. Um, and and Daryl. But they left
Yeah.
with how many? 12, I think. 10.
Yeah, they lost people on the way down there.
A lot of
And
them.
then
You know.
yeah,
A lot of them there in that subway, which was again just stupid. But anyway,
I know.
um,
I mean, honestly, they were lucky that none of our main characters died in that fight. I mean, technically, probably one of them should have, but they got out unscathed out of that
yeah.
fight.
Oh, whoa, wait. There was the other guy, the black guy, and I cannot for the life of me remember.
Elijah was injured, but he did not die.
Right, the yeah, the one who broke his leg.
Yeah,
Or
Elijah.
okay, and
He was the
yeah,
one because he was upset that what's his face killed his sister.
right,
Yeah,
and so
Carver,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
right. So there's five whole survivors, out of the however many they sent off to begin with. I'd have to go back and look because, they started dropping like flies pretty quick.
hmm
um, but and there's even that moment with Father Gabriel that was actually pretty intense.
I loved every moment. I loved it. Like he's talking to him, and he's like trying to get in his head. What, you don't
Hmm.
hear God anymore? Like I'm like, oh my gosh, just kill him already. And he does. He
Yeah.
stabs him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Here's the thing. I never for a moment doubted that Gabriel would
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Part of it is because he has, in a lot of ways, lost his faith along this journey. And, he's commented, before that, he's not hearing God anymore. But it's really at this point, he's like, I don't think it's really so much that he's having a crisis of faith as much as more along the lines of how could there be a God? And he's
yeah.
okay with that because he even asked the other priest, he's like, how could a God, approve of what you're doing?
Right.
How could he approve of any of this? Oh, I don't ask any questions. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that that
I
was a
don't
big
think he's
turning point.
totally lost though. They had that conversation at like the fire, after it was all over.
Mhm.
And, I think he said something to the fact like he was trying to have faith, right? So I don't think
Right.
he's like all the way gone, but he definitely has a hard reality like
Yeah.
of things.
Well, and
So,
and and you can tell the shift because when he took the sniper rifle,
yeah.
"Who's this? You can call me Gabriel."
That was
You know?
awesome.
And I think that is the
Yeah.
first time he has ever dropped the father before his name when introducing himself.
Yeah. True. I don't which makes me wonder though. I do kind of wonder what his outlook is going to be. Like in the third part of this final season, will he die? Like, I feel like they've changed, with them changing him like that. Are they setting him up to kind of
They
meet his
might be,
end,
but I think
you know?
he's going from faith to fatalism.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely maybe.
So
But I know like in that moment though, while they were in there, it was kind of like be kill or be killed. And
right,
he even if he did hear God, I can't imagine in that specific situation him not doing anything to that other priest
right,
to not get to where he needed to be to help his people. Like I
right.
can't imagine him saying, "Kumbaya, let's sit down and talk about the Lord." No,
Although,
that was not the time.
interestingly enough, I don't know that the other priest would have killed Gabriel because, in his mind, God had told him not to kill him, to stay his hand. Um, so if Gabriel hadn't have killed him, I'm not sure exactly what would have happened at that
I
point.
don't
You know what I
know.
mean?
You
Because I
think he would
really
just
don't
let
think
him go to the roof? Just let him go?
I don't know that he would let him go to the roof, but it is kind of I mean, it kind of begs a couple of interesting questions. I mean, I don't think he did, when he's saying no, put your, put down your knife and let us talk and stuff. I think as long as Gabriel stayed in that room with him, I don't think he would have tried to kill him.
I know, but by doing that, he's wasting time. And if he hadn't been where he needed to be,
Yeah,
then his people would be dead.
exactly. Oh, and I don't for a minute doubt that he made the
Yeah.
right call. He absolutely made the right call. I thought it was interesting, that this other priest, was I don't know, kind of offering him this olive branch,
Mhm.
you know? So I don't know. I thought that was there was that really interesting dynamic going on there.
Yeah, I just also agree with, his point of view on when he was questioning the priest. Like, I mean, you think you're hearing God, but you're hearing something because I don't know what God would think you need to stand by these crazy people. So,
Right.
I mean,
Oh yeah, and I absolutely, I mean, you can't believe in a kind and loving God if you're and at the same time condone what this group was doing,
mhm,
you know?
mhm. Hmm. Well, but I mean, I like the change in him. I'm down to see what they end up doing with him plot wise,
Mhm.
character wise. There's like a couple of comments here to asking about him and Rosita,
Yeah, I
like
was
when they came back together at the end there.
well, and I'm going to agree with I think it's Erica that the two it was more he had a concern that their physical well-being. It didn't come off to me as romantic, but more as a caregiving feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I don't, it's hard to say if they're together or not. It's been unclear for a while. You know.
It has been unclear, and we haven't really seen them like a lot on screen together
Yeah.
anyway to even get a good vibe. So I don't know. I mean, obviously he cares about them. If not,
Oh yeah.
at the very least, he cares, he wants them alive, right? He doesn't
Oh
want
yeah.
them to die. Um,
That's why I said
I
more of
don't
I
know.
I got more of a caregiving vibe from that
Yeah.
scene between the two of them. Not romantic, but more relief, almost, I don't know, sisterly towards her, but that's then again, I mean, he was exhausted. Everyone was exhausted. Um, so
Oh gosh, Rebecca says, "I thought he put her hair back and she kind of recoiled." Oh, I don't remember seeing that, but Lord, if that happened.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go back and look because I don't recall that either.
Well, obviously Rosita never cared about him to the level that he cared about her at one time, right?
Oh yeah,
Um, so I don't know. I kind of hope it's like everyone, like you're saying, and what Erica's saying. I kind of hope that it's just platonic and family driven,
right.
not romantic driven. Because I mean, I feel like he's got enough going on to figure out. He got to play games with Rosita too. No.
Well, and Rosita's been, I mean, when she was pregnant, let's not all forget that she had him and I'm going to say his name wrong, Saeed, and
Um,
and
no, I can't remember. It was someone else. Wasn't she with
it was the doctor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what his name is, y'all. I don't
And
know. You're right, probably. Look, here we go. It's been a while. Sadiq, there we go. I'm like,
Sadiq.
say yes. I'm like,
Thank you. Y'all know how good I am with names.
right.
And one of these days, I'm just gonna have to make a chart. I really probably should.
Girl,
Um,
we're almost done with this show. You're not making no chart.
you're probably right.
So
And
anyway.
and then what's his name? That went off to find the other group. Um, it's been too long. Okay, it's been too long, and I haven't said any of their names in a long time. But no, she had the three. She had the three of them in the house. And they're making charts and figuring things out, and it
Yeah,
was yeah. Like I said, I don't really think she cared for any of them, like the three of them cared for her. You know,
right.
and I don't think that's honestly changed.
Yeah,
So
I would agree. We haven't seen any evidence that it would.
right.
So, at least not at this point in time. Uh so yeah, but let's talk about some of the other reunions since they're talking about it in the comments.
Well, we should
Uh
probably touch a little bit on the Alexandria thing. With every Eugene. Thank you,
oh
Karina.
yes, Eugene, there we go.
Um,
Um
so they're we've got the whole the city's being overrun. We've got a fire at the windmill. We've got the two kids trapped in a basement flooding with
okay,
water. You know,
let me interject, Lisa.
yeah.
Where did all these walkers come from? Because with everything that went down with the Whisperers, how on this earth are there that many walkers just hanging around?
Do you really want me to try and take this apart? Because right now
Oh,
I was just willing to let it
I'm just
go.
saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I
That
know
seemed
because
like an
we should have wiped
exorbitantly
out.
high amount of walkers.
And I thought that too, but I think it was just cinematic license at this point. Because really, after all the walkers that they sent off the cliff, there really shouldn't have been that many of them left in that area.
No, not like that. Not like
No,
that.
because
Oh,
there's probably, I mean, from the looks of it, there looked to be at least 100 or two wandering. I mean, Christ, they had probably like 25 at the bottom of that stair, at the bottom of the stairs.
exactly.
So I mean, that was a lot of walkers. So yeah, I had some questions about that, but I was trying to let it go.
I know. I know. And I'm like, but you know me, I just can't I can't let it slide. But I will not I won't harp on it. I just want to note it and now we can continue.
But yeah, I mean, it was just you could see everyone was just having a they are at one of their lowest points that they have probably been in probably forever. I mean, they're out of food, their crops are dead, they're in a rainstorm, the weather's against them, the walkers are against them, the food's against them, everything. I mean, it's probably like the hand of God came down and said, "Yeah, fuck you," and you in this group in particular, you know.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, yeah, and I think they were feeling it. Yes, Rebecca, walk. They were walked over. That's right. So yeah, but I kind of thought it was interesting that they were all basically just kind of wander. They almost had a shell shock look, um, that whole time. Even up to the next day when the other group showed up. I mean, it was just very. You can see they are defeated. This is a
Mhm.
defeated people.
Yeah, definitely. They were down, but they made it through, you know what I mean? They made it through.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I did like that they had some really nice reunions.
they did. So I don't think, yeah, no one was killed during that whole fiasco, so that
Mm.
was good. Everyone made it through. Um, but I did like the reunion between uh Connie and Daryl.
Oh,
They
that was
were really
great.
happy to see each other.
Oh, they were. I mean, Daryl's face just lit up when
He's
he
like,
saw her. I
"Hey."
mean, it was shock and happiness and surprise and oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, because he thought she was dead. He hasn't seen her since then, right?
Oh yeah. Because
Yeah,
when he left, she was still MIA.
right.
You know,
So I
but
love
Daryl and the
that.
two kids, oh, that was so cute too.
That was cute. Um, yeah, like all the reunions were kind of cute. And then they only happened for a second, for a minute
Mhm.
before here we go again.
I
More
gotta tell
drama.
you, do you know who I thought was actually gonna die in this episode?
Who?
Jerry.
Really?
Well, think
Hmm.
about it. They had run back from the, windmill. Jerry was coughing, and I thought, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
god, he's gonna die of smoke inhalation." You know?
Hmm.
I s
Mm-hmm.
the coughing and the hacking and everything else. I mean, that and, we can't go back in there. It was too much. I really thought, "Oh
Yeah.
god, if he just keels over because of the smoke in his lungs, I'm gonna be really upset because that's just gonna be a terrible way for him to die." You know?
Oh my gosh.
But I was seriously
No,
waiting for it.
I think Jerry's gonna make it all the way to the end of the show alive. I don't think he's gonna die.
I hope so because Jerry is just he's a nice rock, you
Well,
know?
let's see. We have a question. Karina says, "What do y'all think about Daryl letting Leah go?"
Not surprised.
No, he has a soft spot when it comes to her.
He does.
Um,
Well, and he even said it didn't have to be this way. She pushed it, and Maggie responded, and it just, and I knew that was not a truce that could stand, you know.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, but yes, I agree, Erica. She will come back.
She will
She'll
be
be back.
back. Yes, definitely, she'll be back. I don't know. I think letting her go was the right thing to do with their past relationship. Right? He's not that kind of cold-hearted person, so I think there was no other choice for him.
Right. Well, and Maggie didn't go after. I mean, Maggie knew she was still alive, but didn't go
Hmm.
after her. So, I mean, I think she knew that Daryl went, but I think she knew that he wouldn't kill her. You know.
Yeah. So now the real question is, now that we know she's still floating around there somewhere, will she and Daryl make another reunion? Will they be together in the end? Will they, are there any theories there as far as them as a relationship? Or are they gonna, is she gonna change her mind, or is she just gonna be around creating more drama?
Um. I kind of, in some ways, I kind of almost feel she'll go back to how she was before she went back to her people. Having her little cabin and just being on her own.
Hmm.
Um. Because I don't see her and Daryl ever getting back together. Um, and I don't I don't think she would at this point willingly try to raise an army and go after him. Um, so I kind of picture her off, living a hermit's life. But I have a feeling that we're at the end, like I said, they jump forward 6 months and stuff. I kind of think she's somewhere in that area, and her and Daryl will probably run across each other again.
Yeah. I definitely don't want them together. Like we've said in the past, we've talked about this. Like
Mhm.
I don't want that at all. And obviously we know they're going to be skipping off into the sunset to their own show eventually, Daryl and Carol.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, Rebecca just came up with an interesting question. Is she gonna go find Negan or gonna find Negan out in the wild? Huh.
she might.
She might.
She might.
I
And I
can
mean,
see her and Negan,
what
you
if they
know.
got together?
I can see that, honestly. I can see that.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that we'll see Negan again, probably not for a while.
Mhm.
It kind of depends on how they, because we know that they did that 6 months forward split. Um, but I have kind of a feeling that this next episode they will actually go back to them first entering, um, this new society and stuff, so that we
Oh,
have
the
a good grasp of
Commonwealth.
what happened, and then they'll jump forward again. I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, kind of like probably at the end of this, second part, because this is the second of three
Hmm.
segments of this last season. So probably the end of the second segment, we'll probably see what happens at that confrontation at the
Yeah.
gate. So
Hmm.
they're gonna have to go back 6 months, and somehow, even if they don't show us a lot of like scene by scene what happened, some kind of way they're gonna show us what happened in 6 months.
Well, yeah,
How did
especially since I mean, I had a feeling even before they showed that little segment that Maggie would go, nope, 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 not joining another group. You know what I mean?
I mean, and
Especially
not
when
only
they
that,
offer to help rebuild.
yeah,
You know?
but did you notice that they went back to Alexandria, right? But in the
Mhm.
6 month shot, she was at Hilltop.
Right, and I did notice that, and I thought that was really kinda surprising.
Yeah.
But then again, what they probably did is they probably took all the good stuff from Alexandria, the solar panels and everything else, and moved them over to Hilltop. So
Hopefully. I mean, or the Commonwealth said, "Hey, now that we are helping you, quote unquote, what are you going to give us?" And maybe
right.
they were forced to leave Alexandria.
Well, and I um, for the preview, quote unquote, for next week, and they've mentioned this a couple of times in leading, in the teasers leading up to this. Um, Basically, the Commonwealth, if they don't have a use for you or you don't fit in, they kick you out. So something tells
Mhm.
me that Maggie and whoever she has with her are the ones that didn't make the cut.
She's got the rejects.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
well. I mean, the troublemakers, the ones that don't fit in, the ones who question, and I think, yeah, she's getting the rejects,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
that doesn't shock me too much. Although I gotta say, seeing Daryl, as a trooper, kind of surprised me.
It did. My first reaction was like, "What? Oh my god." But then like after a couple of minutes,
I'm like, kind of makes sense.
I felt like he was like again being like a sleeper cell. Like maybe it's a setup. Maybe he's not legit one of them.
I don't know
Maybe.
because I can also see. I mean, I can see from Daryl's point of view the appeal of order.
Yeah.
The appeal of saving. I mean, after everything that they've been through, because I got to tell you, after between what happened with the Whisperers and what happened to um Alexandria and losing Rick and losing Michonne and and then going, with all the hardships they've been through and then going off on this quest for Maggie's revenge, which was a lot of it. Um I kind of think I could see Daryl saying, "Okay, it's not perfect, but we have to start civilization somewhere." You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm tired of
Yeah,
watching my
but
people die.
Daryl is also very street smart,
He
and
is.
I can't see him just drinking the Kool-Aid. I can't see him, like, even though he wants a positive result, even though he might be tired of fighting, um, something isn't right,
Yeah.
with that group. And I think that he won't go along. Not like that.
And yeah. And and honestly, I'm gonna because when we last left the Commonwealth, um Princess and Ezekiel and um that whole group were not exactly doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't. No, yeah.
They were a person non grata, persona non grata. They were not. And they Eugene was sitting in a jail cell, you
Right,
know?
which we see he gave him up because he
Yeah,
wanted out. So
yeah.
here he is.
So I mean, so I don't know that even Eugene really believes in this place, but here we are. So
Here we
yeah.
are. And yeah, they're making good points in the comments. Like, Gerald does have to take care of RJ and Judith.
Hmm.
So maybe he's going to do what he thinks is best for them on the surface, like, hey, this is going
Right,
to be better for them to be here until I can figure something else out. I just
right.
refuse to believe he is like legit in the Commonwealth's little army.
And I feel that, but at the same time, I'm also, I mean, I found it shocking, but in the back of my brain, I kind of went, I could see why, because after they have lost pretty much everything and things had just gotten, I mean, just everything just kept rolling downhill and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And then to walk into a place that has cupcakes, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And he does have the kids to consider because he really does feel not even just responsibility, but love and devotion to RJ and Judith. He has a
Mhm.
promise to keep these two alive and safe. And them growing up
Yeah.
inside the Commonwealth gives them a chance to grow up, you know?
Yes.
And they're not evil, like Negan was or the governor is. They're questionable.
I don't know. I guess when you start digging in there, we'll find out how bad is bad.
Mhm.
On the surface, they don't look too bad, but we don't know if that's what it is, really. I
Right.
mean, we've just really scratched the surface with the Commonwealth.
Oh yeah.
So,
But I would like to when Jerry's up there going, "Hey guys, there's something," you know, and, and the look on Gabriel's face. I mean, just he kind of looks up and then his head drops and he's looking down, gives a little shake, and then off he goes. But you could just see it was almost defeat.
mhm.
You know?
I like, what now?
Yeah. Like, oh my god, what now? I mean, we have been through so much. Can't we just eat these apples in peace? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Can we get 10 minutes with these dirty apples, please?
Exactly.
Eat these apples. Even the dog was trying to go in on the apple. Like, he couldn't
I
even
know.
bite the apple. Poor dog.
I
Oh,
know. I used to have a dog that loved potatoes. Weird dog. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so when when the Commonwealth did show up, it wasn't when Alexandria was at its peak. You know, this was you know probably the worst moment that Alexandria has had. Period. Ever. They've
yeah.
lost the kingdom. They've lost Hilltop. I haven't seen anything from Oceanside. I have no idea what's going on with them. You know, and and here's Alexandria. I mean, it's burnt and in ruins and torn up and barely functional. And I think if the Commonwealth had showed up prior to the Whisperers, they would have been, oh yeah, thanks, we're doing okay, because they really were doing okay. You
Mhm.
know, we can have trade routes and stuff, but we're fine. But now it's you know, these people are tired. They're hungry. They're exhausted.
I know, and they literally just got the food. They couldn't
Right.
even consume it yet.
Exactly. They may have had a bite out of the
Yeah,
apple, you know,
right.
ironically, you
Yeah.
know, and, you know, and then the messenger shows up.
Yeah,
So,
so
I
they
mean,
had no time to rebound at all, like and they could have rebounded a little bit now that they had some supplies. Maybe they could have, but we'll never know because the Commonwealth came, like, immediately as
yeah,
soon as they got back.
you know, and you know, they're all kind of standing there and they're watching, you know, this guy that comes in a three-piece suit and his hair is all slicked back and, you know, I mean, just a blast from the past. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they, you know, and Eugene's just going, "Oh yeah, this is great, guys," and it's gonna be awesome. And but they all, I mean, they just had this shell shocked look on their face. All of them did. You know,
Mhm.
they're all kind of looking at each other like, I don't know what to do with this. This is weird.
Mhm.
And you know, if they had met another community that was on par with them, you know, prior to the Whisper invasion, I think they would have been better able to process it. But this was, I mean, this was weird for them. I mean, it'd be like an alien showing up on our front lawn saying, "We come in peace. Can we help you out?" kind of thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And I mean, how much they've had, the interactions in the past where, people appear trustworthy, but they are
Hmm.
not.
Exactly.
So to
And right
just
now they're depending on
yeah.
Eugene's, you know, okay, you know, I guess,
Mhm.
you know, his
Mhm.
assurances. But you know, then again, I mean, we all know that Eugene has not been the best judge of character in the past. Um,
No, and I mean, honestly, if we go way back, like he's been very unreliable in the past.
right.
Um Over the years he's become more trustworthy, and more, I guess, attuned with the group, but I
Yeah.
mean, I
I
don't
mean, and
know.
I can see why they wouldn't have sent Princess because no one knew who Princess was. You know, Ezekiel is not physically doing very well the last we saw him. And but I'm kind of surprised they, you know, I mean, truthfully, if they wanted to go for trustworthiness, they should have sent what's her name, the lawyer.
Yeah, totally. But though, I did see some I guess some news that kind of makes us think it could be a little spoilery. It's kind of like rumors, but it's news. And I think, okay, so why I'm bringing this up is because I think the Commonwealth obviously is our end game here. And
Right.
this is, we forgot, where did Michonne go, right? Where did
Right.
where is Rick? Now, this story I saw actually spotted the guy who plays Daryl, and of course Andrew, the guy who plays Rick. They were
Hmm.
together in a sushi place in Atlanta this week.
Really?
They were together. They were spotted together. And already we know Angela Kang has been like, hey, he can come back whenever he wants. The door is open.
Hmm.
So I feel like, what if Rick shows up somewhere? What if
Yeah. I mean, because
at
it's
the
not like they
end?
gave us any great resolution, you know, with the world beyond. Ugh.
Yeah.
And, you know, I watched 2 seasons of crap to find out nothing, you know?
Yes. So Karina says they're currently filming episode 23.
Mhm.
So if he's here, and this is like, he was seen like a day or so ago. So it's
Yeah.
now.
Well, and I did I was also reading an article that, the Carol and Daryl show has been completely greenlit, and they're gonna be starting to, um, film this fall.
You said season of what?
Carol and Daryl, their
Oh,
spinoff.
okay. Okay.
Yep. So that is, it's no longer just rumor or whatever. It's a there that it will be being made, and it's supposed to be technically coming out after some sometime after the final season of The Walking Dead.
I wonder if it's gonna be after Tales of the Walking Dead, because I've also they're saying that's gonna be mid this year. That's the
Mhm.
last I heard, and there's been a lot of, like, stories dropping with the cast.
Yeah.
Like, the most recent thing I saw was Olivia Munn is on there, Jesse T. Usher is on there, and if you don't know
Mhm.
his name, if you watched, what was that show? It's on the tip of my tongue, on Amazon Prime, the superhero show that was about the bad superheroes. Um,
Peacemaker.
no, not Peacemaker, The Boys. If
Oh,
you
okay,
watch The
sorry.
Boys, he was the guy that runs the black guy that runs real fast.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's gonna be in there, and it's like they pulled some really good people.
Mhm.
Parker Posey's gonna be in there. So I mean, they are loading up that cast, and I
Yeah.
think that they've already started issuing like the amount of episodes and stuff.
Mhm.
So I think maybe that will be out before Carol and Daryl's show. So I'm thinking if they
Yeah,
follow, based on what I'm seeing in the little news articles and
right.
stuff.
So, my guess is we'll go ahead, we'll finish out this, we'll finish out this section of the season. This is part 2. Um, and then probably then we'll roll into Fear the Walking Dead. Then we'll roll into the the new anthology.
Hmm.
Uh, finish up this season, the final, the third part, and then after that is probably where they're going to slate in the Daryl Carroll show.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're calling it. That's why I'm just calling it the Carol Daryl show.
Yeah, I don't think it has a name yet. I haven't seen anything with a name, so
Mm-hmm.
I know our sleuths in the comments. You guys, the sleuths, if you know of the name of the show already, tell us what the name is. I'm curious. I haven't heard it though.
Yeah, I haven't. I
Um,
mean, because I figured that's not really. I've been kind of catching up on those because uh, it's not really spoilers, and
yeah,
we do try. And just for the new people that are joining us, like Lulu, we try not to actually read or watch spoilers, so that everything that we talk about is actually just it's our opinion, not
yeah,
so much, you know, things that people have ferreted out.
right. We do. Oh, what did? Oh, she said the Daryl and
Carol and
Carol
Daryl
Variety Hour.
Variety Hour.
That's hilarious. Um,
Okay.
That's funny. But yeah, we like to throw our own, theories out there that are untainted.
Yeah.
So I
And
try
that's
not to watch
and
legit
that's why we
spoilers.
also, because we both have AMC Plus, so we can actually watch forward.
Yeah,
We never do that. We'll watch it early a lot of times, so we can watch it twice if we feel the need to.
right.
But we don't watch ahead because it's not fair. That's cheating.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. We don't do it because I mean, yes, the hardcore people probably have AMC Plus, like, everyone, I bet everyone in these comments has AMC Plus, but a
Yeah.
lot of people that listen to the podcast don't, and they stay on the regular schedule with the,
Hmm.
regular airing. So, yeah, we just try to do our best to help the people.
That's right.
Help the
And
people.
again, because we're not doing because there are shows out there, that I mean they go scene by scene and they're
Yeah.
stop action, and they're notating down every, every expression and everything. And we're having a conversation.
Yeah, y'all, we are chilling by the water cooler on our break that lasts forever.
Exactly.
No one's going back to the desk. We just talking about this show for an hour. That's what we're doing.
It's a good thing I'm a very lenient boss,
Right.
so, but yeah, so I mean I do really think that the second part is off to a good start. I got to tell you, before I started watching the the premiere, I was a little worried because you know they've dropped the ball on more than one occasion, you know,
Mhm.
and just kind of like when they dropped the nuclear bombs and on Fear the Walking Dead, I'm like, God, they jumped the shark on that one.
Yeah.
And I still think it was probably the dumbest thing they could have done. And then they left us hanging, with the uh World Beyond, you
Yeah.
know, And a lot of us here were going, oh my God, I cannot believe I have just spent 2 years of my life watching this stupid show for this,
Oh my god, right?
you
But,
know.
when it comes to this show, I feel like they, because of COVID and everything, they've had so much time for plotting and writing. They
They
have
better have.
had a long time. They better get the part 2 and part 3 right.
Well,
Like,
and I would hope, because this has been a long considered plan. I mean, they can't just wing it. My hope is that they already, before they ever started this final season, part 1, they
mhm,
had the entire arc plotted,
right,
which they should have, you know.
right.
Um and if they don't, I might have to make a road trip and go smack somebody. You know,
Oh god. Like,
you
don't
have
do
to
it.
do an outline. That's how you write. Okay. As a
Look,
publisher, I'm telling
I
you, man,
don't
that's how
have
you do
bail
it.
money for you, okay? So don't go slapping people. I just don't go doing it.
Okay. How about a verbal tongue lashing? How about that?
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
that works.
I can be very biting. You know,
Okay.
yeah. We're gonna start with idiot and end with moron. I'm pretty sure that's.
I know. I mean, I really want a satisfactory ending. I want to feel like at the end of this show, like, wow, that was a good ride, worth every minute that I've dedicated to this show.
Because we have
It all is
dedicated.
worth it.
Okay, because just to let you guys know, we have been dedicated to this show for a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
We've been doing this podcast. We're kind of new on YouTube, but if you want to look at our archives, we've been doing this show for years and
yeah,
years
10
and years.
years. 10 years.
So
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, this is, we have invested a great deal of time and
yeah,
effort and speculation. You know,
I know. So give us the payoff we want. You can do it. I feel positive. You can do it. You better do it.
oh, Lulu
So
just said if Rick is in Atlanta just for an episode of Ride with Norman Reedus or the Talking Dead finale, I'm going to be more than a little pissed. I'm with you. I'm with you.
yeah, same, same.
Oh yeah, don't do that to us. Don't tease us like this. That's at this point that's just mean.
Yeah, and if you're gonna just be doing that, just say that's what you're doing, so we're not speculating. Don't be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Don't be a
say.
douche. Yeah.
Right. Just let us know. I'm not here for that. Just tell us. But, we'll see. Guess we'll
Right.
find out.
So, oh yeah, but I think we've got a good foundation going forward
Yep.
into next episode. I'm excited to watch the next one and see what and hope and fingers crossed that they're keeping this momentum up. Because again, this is it. This is the final arc. They had better
Yeah.
pour every bit of heart and soul and sweat into these final episodes.
I know. I'm really excited to watch the next one. I'm actually going to watch it tomorrow morning when I wake up because a little birdie told me that it was really good. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited to watch it now. So I'm going to
I
have
might
to
watch
watch
it
it.
tonight after the episode, after this.
Hmm.
So, yep.
Let's see. Karina says, what did y'all think of the time jump? What happened in between? Oh, who knows? I mean, that's such a black hole for me. I have no inkling what could have happened in between. Um, what about you, Lisa? Do you have any speculation on what happened in between?
Ah, that's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I mean, obviously somehow they left Alexandria and went back to Hilltop. That's the only thing I can clearly define between in that
Yeah.
6 months. But how it happened, why it happened, who knows?
Like I said, the best I have at this point is that Maggie was considered either someone Maggie cared about was bounced out, or it could even be that Maggie has become something of a brittle leader. I mean, she's I really I'm gonna be honest here. I don't think Maggie is a good leader. Okay. Um She
quantify that. Like, because I feel like if anybody else was a hard ass, we'd be okay with
no,
it.
no, Maggie is a good leader when she has a good group of lieutenants around her to temper
Okay.
her. Okay, but Maggie, when left to her own devices, tends to go to extremes. And it's not that I can't say that she's never been justified. Um, but so either she got into the Commonwealth and went, if I'm not in charge, I'm not staying. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mm.
Or someone that she cared about, was close with, got bounced and she walked out with them. And then she started
Hmm.
gathering up
Hmm.
the dredges of humanity that were winnowed out. For
Yeah.
all we know, she might have started Hilltop and it has just been gathering up the Commonwealth's rejects.
Right. Hmm. I don't know. I want Maggie to make it through this show. I want her to come out on the other end as a healed person.
I
Like
hope so.
whatever she has to do to make that happen, I want her to be like skip off into the sunset with her kid happily ever after. That's what I would like to see for Maggie.
I know. Well, because the thing of it is I think that part of, and again, we've seen Maggie become more and more brittle. Okay, um, and I'm not saying that, and mostly just because Maggie is damaged,
Mhm.
and she's she's not really moving on. She's
Mhm.
very unforgiving, and if she's left untempered, if she doesn't have, I mean, because again, when she was in Hilltop, she had that, she had Jesus, she had
Yeah.
Alton, she had
Right.
this, and they really did kind of temper her worst impulses, you know, and kind of held her back and went, wait, 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 we might want to consider this. And,
Yes.
and she doesn't really have that anymore. And with the, and when we were reintroduced to Maggie, we're kind of introduced to the wreckage of her travels. We see the places that she had been that were burnt out and burnt down and destroyed. And so everything that she's been through since she's left Hilltop and Alexandria has just been, there's nothing left of it,
Right.
you
Yep.
know. And even the school, which should have been, with tall walls and bolt holes, and they had food and supplies and everything, even that crumbled before her,
Right.
and for every loss, for every person who's died, for every place that has been destroyed, you can see her becoming more and more brittle, you know
Mhm. Mhm.
and I really hope Maggie at some point finds some peace, because she hasn't had any, you know um since her husband died
Yeah.
and
Was murdered.
was murdered. Yes.
Yes.
you know and
Yeah.
I mean, in a brutal way, right in front of her. I mean, it was awful. And since the moment that he died,
Mhm.
nothing in Maggie's life except for Herschel has been good.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, it's I she's, yeah, kind of like, Maggie is like season 5-6 Rick. And
Yeah.
Rick in 5-6 was brittle and made a lot of rash and wrong decisions because he was not in a good place, and she's not in a good place. Maggie could be an amazing leader, but she's not in a good place,
Mhm. She's
you know?
not. She's not, but she's had to make some hard choices, and I
Yeah.
think sometimes, like for example, in this episode, I co-sign on her choice to kill them. I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
Yes, she could have been the bigger person with a halo on her head and let them walk away, but sometimes people get what they deserve what they got coming.
Right.
So it's like a little gray, right? Like you don't
Right.
want to be this brittle, unyielding person, but you don't want to be this soft, extra forgiving to the point of your own detriment person either. Like, where she needs to
Right.
balance back, you
Well,
know?
and, I could see there was a big reappraisal from Negan as soon as he watched her shoot them in the back, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yep, I am out of here." Although I did find it kind of interesting that he tracked her down to say, "I'm not coming back." And this is why, because you will do what you feel you have to do no matter what promises you make.
Right.
And
Yes.
I
And
think
that no, he knows that can mean she might kill me one day.
right. And I think, but I thought it was kind
Yeah.
of interesting because Negan was basically saying, I'm not just running out on you guys. I'm doing this because I feel this is the best thing I can do for both of us,
Mhm.
you know? And but because Negan could have just literally walked away,
Yes.
you know, but he chose to
Yeah.
go and have this final moment with Maggie,
Right.
and it was kind of a weird sign of respect. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely, cuz he knows she's no slouch. She's like, "I know what you're going to do. I know what kind of person you are. I don't begrudge you that, but I'm just going to exit stage left cuz I'm going to
Yep.
look out for myself." As he
Yeah.
does, as you do
Exactly.
when you don't want to be
So,
murdered. So
ex-
there's that.
right. And he knows that after watching her shoot these guys in the back, and I think that's the part that was his final decision. Because I
Mhm.
think up until that point, he was considering, well, Maggie and I have been kind of getting along. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, as soon as he saw her do that, he's like, nope, not taking the chance.
No. And that whole time they're having that conversation, Lulu mentions that, she gives Negan props for not trying to kill her when he snuck up on her. But that
Hmm.
whole time I'm like, man, I was thinking, is he gonna try to attack her? And she was reaching for her knife that whole time. She's like, I ain't
Yeah.
no dummy, you know?
Oh
I
yeah.
I I can't trust you as far as I can throw you. Like, when we are in a situation where it's us versus them, okay, we're on the same side. But
Hmm.
when it's not us versus them, it's me versus you.
Right.
And
Oh
that's
yeah.
always going to be that dynamic between them forever, unless
Yeah.
suddenly she's just over it and she forgives him.
Well, and I mean, because Negan has changed, he truly has. It will never make up for the fact that what he did to Glenn, what he did to
Hmm.
all of them, you know. And we've talked about that a lot before, but you could see that when he was talking to Maggie that there was there was some legitimate sadness or regret in his voice when he was talking to her.
Yikes. Nikki says he should have killed her.
Nah, honestly, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
so. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't think so either.
because
uh,
how's he going to go back and say, "Yep, killed Maggie. It's all good. I'm going to go back to Alexandria with you."
no, he can't. He can't. I mean, he'll
Yeah,
have to explain what happened to her and they will kick him out or they will try
exactly.
to kill him or something. So
Right.
that's not a
So
winning situation for him, period.
yeah, I mean, he would, and even though Negan has changed, you know, it's not enough for Maggie. And even though Maggie has changed to become a bit more like Negan,
Yeah,
um, that's not enough for her to forgive herself, you know.
absolutely.
So, or it's a whole thing. So it's better that he left for
Yeah.
everyone.
I agree. And we know he'll be back, so we'll see what kind of fiasco comes back with him when he returns.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be something. It's gonna
Hmm.
be something. Um, so wow, okay, we are past our hour, guys.
Yeah,
Woo,
we
we
are.
we are past it. So any last points you want to bring up, Lisa, before we call it?
No, I'm just excited to watch the next episode.
Yes, me too. It's been a blast tonight. Thank you so much for everyone coming in here, all the new people. We appreciate you being here live with us on Monday night. Come back again next week, same time. We will be right here. We
And
look
thanks
forward
for
to
all the new
chatting.
people that joined us tonight.
Yes, we love it. We love all the interaction. We like getting other people's opinion on the show, and that really just energizes us even more for our conversation.
gives us an occasional giggle, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it's been fun. Thanks so much, guys. We will see you again here next week. And if you are listening to the replay, thank you for listening to this episode. Thanks for checking it out. And we will see you guys next week. Take
All
care,
right.
guys. Bye
Bye.
bye.